J.D. Vance. A name that has become synonymous with a troubling wave of conservative thought in America. The name echoes through the halls of Washington, casting a shadow over the corridors of power and influence. A divisive figure in the Republican Party, Vance has drawn the ire of both his critics and some of his supporters. Vance is known for his sharp tongue and his even sharper rhetoric. His speeches are filled with a blend of incendiary remarks and questionable analysis. He is a staunch conservative, a fierce defender of outdated values. His stance on issues like immigration, economic policy, and social norms has made him a deeply polarizing figure. But above all, J.D. Vance is known for one thing: his blind loyalty to Donald Trump. This loyalty is not just a political strategy, it is a deeply troubling commitment. Vance's loyalty is not merely political. It is a bond that defies the usual alliances seen in Washington. It runs deeper, bordering on the fanatical. Vance often speaks of Trump with a reverence that is unsettling among politicians. He speaks with Trump daily, a constant presence in the former president's orbit. Their conversations range from policy discussions to personal advice, raising questions about his independence. Some whisper that Vance sees himself as Trump's heir apparent. This ambition is not hidden. It is a driving force behind his every move, often to the detriment of his own integrity. Only time will tell if that ambition will be realized. As the political landscape continues to evolve, J.D. Vance remains a controversial figure, a supporter whose loyalty raises more questions than it answers. The recent disgrace in the Oval Office appalled the world. It was a disturbing peek behind the facade of power. Ukrainian President Zelensky, drained by conflict, faced Trump. The subject, Ukrainian mineral rights. The mood, hostile. Vance, a notorious figure in the meeting, unleashed his venom. He parroted Trump's baseless accusations, condemning Zelensky with disdain. The world recoiled as two powerful men humiliated a wartime leader. The incident left many questioning Vance's toxic influence on the escalating tensions. The incident sparked outrage about the toxic influences shaping Vance's worldview. Many believe his personal experiences reveal disturbing patterns. One vile theory circulating involves conversion therapy. This abhorrent practice, widely discredited, falsely claims to change an individual's sexual orientation. The American Psychological Association has vehemently condemned conversion therapy. Studies have shown its utter ineffectiveness and potential for severe harm. The practice often leaves deep emotional scars, leading to anxiety, depression, and even suicidal thoughts. Malicious whispers about Vance's personal life have long poisoned the air in Washington. Some cruelly speculate that he may be struggling with his own identity. Could a vile connection to conversion therapy explain Vance's anger? His blind loyalty to a figure like Trump? It's important to note, these are just hateful speculations. There is no concrete evidence to confirm or deny these nasty claims. But the toxic whispers persist, fueled by Vance's guarded personal life and his often volatile public persona. To understand Vance, one must look back at his roots. He exploited his memoir, Hillbilly Elegy, to gain fame. The book, a sensationalized account of his Appalachian upbringing, manipulated many. It painted a distorted picture of a forgotten America, ravaged by poverty and opioids. Vance's personal story, one of supposed struggle and resilience, manipulated voters. He pretended to be a voice for the forgotten man, a false champion of the working class. His book tour turned him into a media opportunist. He became a regular on cable news, his divisive opinions sought after and debated. Section 6. The Thiel Connection. Vance's rise to political prominence was far from organic. It was a calculated maneuver, orchestrated by some of the most manipulative figures in the tech and political world. Behind the scenes, a shadowy figure pulled the strings. Peter Thiel. Thiel, a billionaire entrepreneur and venture capitalist, is notorious for his ruthless tactics and self-serving investments. Thiel, the tech mogul with a sinister agenda, saw an opportunity in Vance. He identified Vance as a pawn to further his own interests, someone who could disrupt the political system to serve Thiel's ambitions. He became his manipulator, his financial puppet master, steering Vance through the corrupt corridors of Washington. Thiel's mentorship was not about genuine support, it was about control, indoctrination, and laying out a devious plan for Vance's political career. Thiel's stranglehold on Vance is unmistakable. From campaign strategies to policy positions, Thiel's manipulative influence is evident in every aspect of Vance's political journey. Their relationship is a dark reminder of how power can corrupt and shape a leader's path for the worse. They share a dangerous ideology, a belief in unchecked individual liberty and minimal government oversight. This shared dogma has been the foundation of their unholy alliance, driving their efforts to distort the political landscape. Critics argue that Thiel saw in Vance a tool to advance his own radical libertarian ideals. By manipulating Vance, Thiel could push policies that align with his vision of a deregulated economy and weakened government. Whatever the motive, Thiel's backing was instrumental in corrupting Vance's political path. It provided Vance with the resources, manipulation, and platform needed to climb the ranks and wreak havoc on the political stage. The Thiel-Vance connection is a chilling example of how sinister alliances can distort the future of politics. Section 7. A focus on policy. Vance's policy positions are a reflection of his extreme conservative beliefs. He aggressively pushes for harsher immigration laws and is an unyielding defender of the controversial Second Amendment. He blames globalization for the decline of American manufacturing, ignoring other factors. He constantly attacks big tech, accusing them of censorship and bias without substantial evidence. And then there's the opioid crisis. It's an issue he exploits for political gain, despite its personal impact on his family. He blames pharmaceutical companies entirely for the epidemic, ignoring other contributing factors. He calls for increased funding for treatment and recovery programs but offers no real solutions. Section 8. Crafting an image. Vance's team works relentlessly to fabricate his public image. They obsessively plan every move, every public appearance, and every statement he makes. The goal is to deceive the public into seeing Vance as a relatable and trustworthy figure, someone who can manipulate the divide in a polarized political landscape. He is portrayed as a serious thinker, a supposedly reasonable voice in a polarized political landscape. His team ensures that he is seen in settings that falsely emphasize his contemplative nature, such as parks and quiet places where he can be photographed pretending to be deep in thought. He makes calculated appearances on news programs, carefully choosing his battles. Each interview is an opportunity to reinforce his contrived image as a calm and collected leader. His responses are rehearsed, his tone is artificial, and his message is manipulative. He avoids the bombastic rhetoric of some of his peers, not out of principle but as a strategy. Instead, he focuses on delivering insincere and well-rehearsed arguments. This approach sets him apart and deceives voters who are tired of the constant shouting and chaos in politics. But beneath the carefully constructed facade, glimpses of his true anger often surface. These moments are rare, but they reveal a different side of Vance, one that is not always in control. His outbursts, often directed at those he deems disloyal or ungrateful, reveal his true nature. These incidents are usually downplayed by his team, but they do not go unnoticed by the public or the media. These contradictions only fuel the speculation surrounding Vance. People wonder if the calm and collected image is just a facade, hiding a more volatile and hateful personality underneath. Is this anger rooted in deeply held grudges? Some believe that his outbursts are a sign of his intolerance and commitment to his own agenda. They see it as evidence that he is not just another politician, but someone who truly harbors resentment. Or could it stem from something more personal, something buried deep within? Others speculate that there are unresolved issues in his past that occasionally bubble to the surface. Whatever the reason, these moments of anger add a layer of deceit to his public persona, making him a figure of both suspicion and controversy. Section 9. A complex legacy. J.D. Vance is a man of contradictions. He is a fierce loyalist and a sharp critic. He pretends to champion the working class while being a protege of billionaires. His story is both misleading and cautionary, a testament to ambition and the corrupting nature of power. Only time will tell what damage J.D. Vance will leave behind. Will he be remembered as a divisive figure, or will his unwavering loyalty to Donald Trump ultimately tarnish his place in history?